called Tholindis. What's the matter?
Certainly, granddaughter. Flinders.
Interesting. Anything else? What about—
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Tholindis' memories, though only a very small portion.
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Tholindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Tholindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me, though, were these pure-blood Conorians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah! Just like how it was with the captain!
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of—
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that. That merchant who Nefer knows, Dori Sangama Bay. Maybe we could hire her to look into it.
All right, then. Let's keep working. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent moon's marrow. As for the other—
On the way over here, I noticed that the Wild Hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search for Kutar. At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too.
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting up. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers of— I'll hold the fort for now. Then discuss our next move with Flints, Aino, and Anefa when they get back.
Alright then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything, we'll be on our way.
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. Now, I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Stay safe, everyone.
We're back. Did we get here a little early? Or a little late?
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, our resident moon goddess has found us a new ally, and Boss Nefer has uncovered some promising info. Everything going smoothly on your end?
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting taken out way faster than we imagined. I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Inefa, could you fill in Uncle Varga on what we just discussed with Flints?
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flints' intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Notcry in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
Flints, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Notcry are rallying to fight back against the Wild Hunt. They're gonna need your help. I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, you should stay here and get some rest. And Effa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal's a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth betting on.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsfartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. See you when you get back.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second. Since you brought us all this way, would you mind telling us what you got planned? We still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here. And if even Columbina doesn't know where the...
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon. And one of the last surviving embers of the Two Worlds' flames.
Huh? Are you serious? Isn't... You're a descendant of that Crimson Moon dynasty we were just talking about?
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through my veins and smoldered away inside my nerves. What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me, consuming me from the Exactly. That is why my hands are like this, too. At first, I saw it only as a curse, but once I became a harbinger, the jester apprised me of the truth. Together with my own investigations, over the past few years, there are several things that I have gradually come to understand. For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different person.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug of war.
Oh, sounds intense.
Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson Moon or the Iridescent Moon that you are unclear about?
Paimon has a question. So, the Crimson Moon that the Karians used to worship was actually the Iridescent Moon, right? Which was one of the three Moon Sisters. Does that mean that the Karians were to the Crimson Moon as the Frost Moon Scions are to the Frost Moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like, but I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains simply served as their link to the abyss. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heirs of the Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, even with the dark sun looming high overhead, the Crimson Moon's glow never truly faded. If you want living proof, it's standing right before you.
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar in your presence. When I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its broken image, surrounded by a strange black aura.
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, they'll have to wait. I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letter, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself, you intend to leave it in my custody. Correct?
That's right. For now, it's the only way I can pay you back for your help. The iridescent moon is already part of who you are. So with its marrow in your possession, you'll be even more powerful than before.
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started? What does this place have to do with the Crimson Moon?
When I first became a Harbinger, the Jester gave me a book called Paranhari, also known as Leobranto Innamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era. But in the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received children from beyond the bounds of this world, and subjected them to a peculiar induction ceremony.
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real?
The Crimson Moon sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing they might lose control, they subjected these children to a process of refinement. They made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted to having died and seen a crimson moon. The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them, "Within the fireplace you have traversed the flames between two worlds. Here and now you are born anew." The book leaves much unsaid, but I suspect that this was their way of branding the children they had enrolled, leaving an indelible mark upon them so that they would forever live in the Crimson Moon's light.
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can only be accessed temporarily through some kind of ritual. There's no fireplace here! Do you see a chimney anywhere?
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, the flames that burn within me. Those burned away by such flames leave behind a kind of ghostly afterimage in the world. In the days of Conria, people believed they could be used to bridge the gap between the two worlds of life and death. In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. That's the catch is I'll need to stay on this side to keep the passage open. So, very well. Then I'll open it up.
Traveler, spare me a little more moonlight if you would. Thank you. I feel like I've recovered some of my strength now.
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice. As you're crossing over, no matter what voices you...
Got it! I sense a sinister gloom inside. I feel that I am about to meet an old friend who has changed beyond all recognition. I sense your presence and crave you death and rebirth. Wait, why are you? You have crossed over from another world, transcended fate itself. I have no right to. Hey! Look up at the sky! A red moon! This must be the spot, right? Is that the...
What a tragic sight. Fragment.
Careful! There's something spooky but... Hi, Monstripe! By the way, Kalamina, didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon had shattered into pieces? The moon up there looks pretty whole to Paimon. How is that possible?
Just like I thought. It was only a facade.
Go away! Everyone hold hands! Don't be scared!
Wind
Huh? Huh? For real? That's way too high!
No. I'm not sensing anything up there. It's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see. Ah! There's some kind of weird shadow over the water. Wait, see that? Looks like a mechanism of some sort. Looks like a device from the time of Kalia. Maybe people once came here to study the crystal moon's remains, and they left this behind. Oh, if we can activate it, we might find some clues. Look at that! Now that the mechanism's running, the shadow in the water looks different. Do you think these mechanisms might be the key to unlocking the...
Thalindus, we'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining date night. Ugh. Mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the table.
Thalindus? Is that Rear's girlfriend? Oh, yeah. So, do you think she was studying this strange space all along?
The Abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here. Like echoes. Or after images.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest. Mourning still in wistful tone, her fragile soul now laid to rest. For me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson Moon space. Is it a coincidence? Or something more?
Looks like the Abyss has messed up this mechanism. We need to find a way to get it working again. Let's see if there are any other devices nearby. I see everything.
Clouds high. The birds come. Transfixed.
So the moon marrow, or rather the power of the 3 moons, is the key to unlocking... If it really does exist, then maybe this madness can finally be put to an end. With the Abyss inhibitors in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Rarier, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, the Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
chamber with the moon marrow.
It must be. For within it, I sense the fragile aura of a dying soul.
Then there's no time to lose! Looks like we'll have to destroy them if we want to get to the iridescent moon's marrow. I see everything. The iridescent moon's marrow! Oh, we'll need to destroy these things before we can reach it! Everyone hold hands! Yeah. I see everything! Yeah! We're so close!
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame. If we can purify the abyssal power. It's so cold. Is it you?
Huh?
At long last, I can see you once more. Our fates have crossed, and I am finally free. I'm sorry, I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart. As death drew near, the moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If only I had possessed your courage, then I might have been spared this torment, more painful than death. You look so puzzled. That's how I felt too when I first saw you. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason. Farewell.
What was that all about? Was that... It sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But
perhaps she took me for the goddess of the frost moon she once knew. For a fading soul like hers, our auras must be too similar to tell apart.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon. All right, time to... odd. This place looks different than when we came in. Waning moon. Huh? Oh, lifeless damsel. Oh. Hurry! The place is collapsing! It wants to trap us here. Who's it? The Abyss? Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy. Give it back! The crimson house! My marrow! My heart! Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise.
Yes.
What are you waiting for?
Oh, we made it! Is that you, Arlecchino? Wait, your hands! They're...
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy whatever's left of them.
But surely... Oh, we're so sorry, Arlecchino. Paimon can't believe you'd make a sacrifice like this for Red.
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, the truth is, I was simply holding up my end of the deal. Well, Columby.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care. From this day forth, may the two worlds' flames burn ever more brightly.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina, give me your hand. Accept this moonlight I offer in return. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina, are you okay? I'm fine.
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned. At least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay. I can take it.
How about now?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like before. I want to see him gone from Not Cry. The ray here of Solnari and his wild hunt must be sent back where they belong.
Well, it's good to have something to aim for. You certainly seem more alive now than you did earlier. When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who knows where. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the frost moon, once the brightest of them all. May you keep shining, Columbina.
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, but whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina.
A new name.
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina. They're nothing more than code names. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. All I'll say is this. Once you've All right. That's it from me. I'll get you back safely first.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character. Anyway, let's get going. There are more urgent things to do right now than trade compliments.
It was a close call, but we got the iridescent moon's marrow and restored Columbina's... In other words, mission accomplished.
Ad Astra.
Thank you for
Ad Astra.
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to...
Save me.
Do you think the... Oh! Hey, look! Lance!
All is well.
I ran into Miss...
You seem rather...
I certainly am. Fighting alone can get...
We meet again. How have you been?
Albino! What are you doing here?
Thankfully, tracking you down turned out to be a lot simpler than we envisaged.
These two courageously lent me a hand while I was fighting the Wild Hunt. When they told me they were Savarka's colleagues, and given how people of outstanding talent tend to cross paths, It's no wonder you're already acquainted.
So, who's your travel buddy, Albedo?
Why don't you come and introduce yourself?
Yes, my boy.
A gentleman of few words.
It's nice to meet you. Again. We've technically met before.
Wait a sec! You're Minnie Durin!
That's right. It's me. I'm glad to see you again. By the way, he says it's okay if you drop the mini.
Yeah, I'm not as mini as I used to be.
Interesting, isn't it? The first step towards blending into human society appears to be reflecting on whether one's name really reflects who they are.
Wow! You look so different! In a good way, of course. It's great to see you looking so healthy.
Thank you, Paimon. And although you're as mini as ever, I understand that diminutives don't always convey endearment. I'll be sure to simply call you Paimon as a sign of my great respect for you.
Wow! You're such a smooth talker now. Paimon could get used to this. From now on, you may refer to her as your
Personally, I think our little Paimon is the perfect size. When people call her little Paimon, it's just because she's so adorable that they can't help themselves. If that's not a sign of endearment, what is?
You're absolutely right, Miss Lauma. My brother still has a long road ahead of him when it comes to understanding human relationships.
Anyway, speaking of long journeys, didn't Columbina leave with you? How come she...
she's been catching up with old friends. Wouldn't be surprised if she stopped for a cup of tea or 10 on the way back.
Uh-oh. People are talking about me. Hope it's nothing negative.
Judging from your expressions,
It's getting crowded here. I'll go grab some chairs.
No need. This is a job for an alchemist. I'll whip some up momentarily.
Thank you for your hospitality, ladies and gentlemen, but I was merely escorting my friends. I'll be meeting Sandrone shortly, as we still have some things to discuss. It's been a pleasure, everyone. But
we really appreciate your help.
Oh, come on. Spare the formalities. I'm just glad I could help out some true friends.
I understand. Well, bye for now, Harlequino.
Oh, this place is hopping. It's probably a good thing one of...
Are you saying we're about to run out of chairs?
As a matter of fact, I am. Come on in. I overheard your little chit-chat outside, by the way. With Miss Columbina's colleague gone, we should be back to the original. Though it looks like we have another new face. Someone else managed to rope...
Frankly, you and Paimon are the only people I know here.
This here is Deanslip, colleague of Tibet's greatest guide, Paimon, and greatest adventurer, the Traveler. Well, not exactly colleagues, more sort of friends.
When someone else jumps in to do the announcing, you know you're speaking to someone important.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Note to self. Once Paimon knows your name, the rest of the world will soon follow.
When he comes looking for us, it's usually something important. Paimon's guessing you've heard about the Wild Hunt, then.
From the looks of it, you're about to hold a meeting. If I were to say that the Wild Hunt is our mutual enemy, would that earn me a seat at the table?
As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mr. Dainsleif, there's a seat with your name on it. Though, I can't promise the same for everyone else. Hey, Albedo, think you can rustle up a couple more chairs?
After all this time apart, Grandmaster Varka's first order is to rustle up a couple more chairs. I've missed this.
Is he being sarcastic?
Hey, he's your brother. Why are you asking us?
I've still got a lot to learn about the nuances of human conversation. Trying to decipher Albedo's way of speaking has been like jumping in at the deep end.
Oh, good point. Paimon gets you now.
I I wonder what's taking Nefer so long.
Perhaps you should go and check in with her.
I just got back from the curatorium. Besides, aren't you curious to see what—
Miss Nefer doesn't strike me as the type to share secrets. And under such circumstances.
Oh, but it's fine for—
What can I say?
Impressive. She barely fought back at all.
As I'm sure Miss Lauma will realize soon enough, the trick in life is to always pitch in with other people.
Another trick is to simply hide in the background.
Spoken like a true sage.
Anyway, looks like we've got some time to— Feel free to chat amongst yourselves.
Oh, this is awesome. Now I can